Come get your money. Paylake Carp fishing with Donald Barrow. Hey, it's a part two video. I hate part two videos, so I apologize right off the bat because I don't want to do that very often. I like to get, quite frankly, I don't like to wait. But it's Monday. Uh, we fished this weekend and under tough conditions. It was hotter than I've ever fished before. I think the weatherman said it was 96, 95, but the feel like temperature was 105 with the humidity. And I got to tell you, it was rough. Uh, I threw black pack. I think I started out with one or two balls and threw some rice, and I had success on rice. Uh, I kept, you know, it was, I think I then threw two balls of black pack right where I caught the fish with rice, and I didn't catch anything. I was caught more on rice. Uh, I said, okay, I'm just going to throw one black pack ball, two rice, and uh, one or two, I think, five rods millet. And the black pack, I said, you know, let's do something. I said I was going to do it. Oh, by the way, it's awesome. It throws, packs, it throws far. You can, I just shocked. The stuff is great. I don't even wet my hands. I could probably pack it with my hands, but if you wet your hands, the stuff is ready to go. Like we said when we did the breakdown, it breaks down real fast. So that gave me confidence. I was sticking both my pop-ups in the bait sometimes when I was throwing it into trouble. Uh, I changed it up. I said I would do it, and I did it. I had like five bottles, different bottles, blue, green, whatever, and I just reached in and grabbed one. When I sprayed it, I said, "Oh, this must be red." I don't know if there's a smell difference. I can't smell any. It's a bleeder, and I'm sure there's different additives for blue, grape, whatever, green, but I just grabbed the red one for no particular reason. It was the first one I grabbed, and I started hitting the balls, the pickups. I think I was using hot grape pickups, and uh, I actually hit the dough ball, uh, the black pack, just a squeeze. Uh, Pro tip is get a little dipping pan and spray into the dipping pan, your pickups, your ball. And then about the time you bait your third, you don't have to spray. You can just wipe it around and save the money. Don't just spray it away. It's good stuff. It's not expensive. Uh, but I got to tell you, so I threw it out there, and I was a little discouraged. I said, well, I'll treat it as a buffalo rod just because. And what I mean by buffalo rod, um, I set my um, stand up straight out, my rod straight out, not pointed down at all, just to distinguish that uh, I usually have soybean out so that I can distinguish the hit the way they hit. And I would pull like on a drop. If my indicator dropped, I would hit the slack up and pull a lot more than a yellow, which I would wait for um, to take off with. And it's just a method I prefer. And I set it up, and my partner walked over and he said, I used black pack for years, like 20 years and maybe 30. And he says, I don't think I ever caught a buffalo on it. And I was like, oh, I think I switched it back to a little bit of angle and didn't worry about it. The next thing you know, the alarm goes off, and I said, yes, I got my first fish. I don't have to make up any stories on blackpack. And lo and behold, it's a buffalo. It was a medium-sized buffalo. I think it took third big, but I didn't care what it took. I was just happy to catch a fish on blackpack. Would have been happy with that. Just, hey, I caught a fish. People said no. The reason guys don't use it anymore is because there are better alternatives. It's not as good as it used to be, blah, 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 blah. I had other guys saying they still use it. They make it a lot of different ways. And like I said initially, there's no one way to make this. My partner, he had a totally different way. A lot of it is wheat bran, but there was all kinds of different cornmeal, chicken scratch, you name it, guys. We put it in. Uh, if you use my recipe, it turned out great, and none of the stuff was turned out to be really hard to obtain. Steel cut oats, grits, I use millet. You could probably take that out if you're fishing like Creekside. Uh, South Davidson has banned millet too. So these are the North Carolina ponds. I'm not really sure about Indiana or Philly, Pennsylvania. What are the limitations there? But I can tell you it worked, and it worked so well. I put it out on all 5 rods, and I just said, you know, I'm going, baby. I'm committing, and it was a good choice. You know, on a tough night, we took well over 20 fish. I didn't win, uh, but to be honest, it was just fun catching fish. I had a friend that came over. I met off the chat channel, Danny. Uh, I'll screw up his last name, so I won't try it. But he's come out 2 nights, and he's been a big help. Needed him. My other brother-in-law's down for some testing, and couldn't come out. And it was so hot that the alarm would go off, and I said, "It's all you, Danny." And my brother-in-law, Danny, also was helping my normal fishing partner, Tom, who was sitting next to us, and he was beat down by the heat too. And I saw Danny just netting, and they did well. We did awesome. We uh, between us easily 40 fish, but it was when you catch that many fish, it was just it was great. The worst thing is the temperature never dropped, and I'll use that too as in years past there were nights when it was real hot, 90 degrees, but it turned breezy and chilly out, and that's a recipe for slow bite. The temperature dropping real fast. Um, I had combated that successfully by changing baits altogether. Um, for 2 years, I would go to chow when the weather dropped, and I think that's the barometer dropping, but I could be wrong. When the temperature dropped, I don't know if it has much to do with the barometer, but it was fronts would move in at night, and if it drops 20 degrees, chances are what you're using may not last all night long. You may have to switch to something else for a round. But that was my uh, golden ticket a couple years ago. Everybody be fishing, and the fishing was great. Then the temperature would drop, and I went to chow, and I'd still be catching. And everybody said would be taking my spot wherever I went. The next week because it's like that's where the fish are. No, I'd made a change. Uh, Back on point. My next step, it'll be a while because I went to the smaller bucket, but it's full. And I found I was just packing small balls. They were working great. I could cast them a mile, and the fish seemed to hit them just as well. You could pack a really large ball. This stuff packs, again, really well, but there was no need. I prefer a mid-sized ball. My partner uses a real small ball when he packs bait, and I don't know, but I ended up throwing a small ball, I don't know, by mistake or whatever, and I caught 3 fish in a row right on the same spot. So all of them were small balls, and it didn't slow down the catching. Uh, if you go with the bleeding spray, I highly recommend you keep one of them in your for a night like I described, where a bait's not working. It was nothing to give it a spray. I gave the pickups a spray. I don't know if the pickups needed to be sprayed. I kind of don't like to spray pickups just because then when you squeeze the ball together, you've got a liquid in there, and the center can get. If you go too much, you can really uh, your, your bait flies off, your dough ball flies off, your pack bait flies off, and you're like, holy smokes, one big thud, it just flew out the top because you loosened up the center of the ball with a fluid. So if I do it, it's just a quickest wipe. And I've seen guys, you know, they dip, they soak a ball, their pickups, a big like puff or pops, for half of 30 seconds, and then they pack and they don't have trouble. But this is a preference of mine. Just give it a quick spray. I gave the top of the ball a quick spray, and 2 days I still have some of the stain still on my hands, multiple baths. So just you're gonna wear it, and but if you're catching fish like I was Saturday night, you don't care. Um, I will make this again. Like I said, not soon. Uh, I have another bottle of the 40-year-old blackstrap molasses with sulfur. But the next time I make this, it'll probably be grandma's sulfur or some locally sourced gallon of regular blackstrap. I said grandma's molasses, or a local sourced blackstrap molasses. If I can get a gallon for like 15 bucks, I think I saw it on sale somewhere. But probably grandma's because everybody has that brand. And I was told you can use Karo syrup to replace the molasses and uh, other things, cane sugar. Uh, but I like the idea of molasses, so I think the next time um, I'll make it with the grandmas because that way everything else can be sourced easily. I hate the fact that I'm showing off a bait that you have a hard time finding blackstrap molasses with sulfur. But other guys claimed, that was the ticket. And it might be. I kind of doubt it, but I had to see. And so when I found it, I did it. I was excited. I shared the recipe. Um, I'm hoping somebody does the grandmas before I do. So, but I hope you do because I don't think you'll be disappointed. Um, Again, I hope I don't get in the habit. I don't mind following fishing report. I'm not sure if I'll be doing them on YouTube. This is kind of the first one. I generally, if guys that follow me, I'm on the Wicketed or the uh, Facebook page or the Pig Flippers Facebook page. Uh, and for the last, it's been over a year. It's probably been two. Maybe it's only been a year, but I've been posting my fishing, what I did over the weekend, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to claim I'm the best fisherman, but I just want to be honest and tell people my thoughts and how I fished, and I get a lot of good response from that. I think a lot of guys, they may not think the same way, but they're thinking like I do when it comes to you evaluate what you did, other people did, so the next time you come out, you're excited to try something else or duplicate what you saw somebody else do. And to me, that's what it's about. And not forgetting, even though it was hot and crazy, uh, I still enjoyed going out fishing. So uh, we'll talk. Uh, Thank you.